Welcome everybody to our BNI Talks webinar. My name is Steve Tenuza, your host, and today I've got Peter Catalano and Betty, just one name, she's like Madonna. And they are going to be talking about the art of creating an inspiring financial strategy. Peter, this is the first time in 6 years of doing these webinars that I've had someone with a financial background as a presenter doing something important, which is talking about money. We've never had it before. And as a rule, by the way, our friends who are financial advisors, I've already gotten like 7 or 8 requests to present, so you're going to have to join the back of the line now. But yes, if you are a real estate agent, if you're a mortgage broker, all those things where there's one in every chapter, don't feel like you can't have something to share to the world. And people will probably work with the person in their chapter who does what you do. But you know what we're doing here is just sharing really great information that members can use in their lives. Right? All right. So with that,
well, thank you, Steve. I'm glad to be the first. I'm excited. This is thrilling. So today, folks, we're going to talk about the art of creating an inspiring financial strategy. And I just want to share a little bit. This isn't about the numbers. This isn't about particular investments or whatever. That's not what we're talking about today, because money touches everything in your life. And how you choose to spend it and how you choose to save it and how it is really based on what's internal inside of you. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. So if we advance here, Steve, folks, Steve's running the webinar in the back, or the slides in the background. So a little bit about me. I'm Peter Catalano. I'm a CLU, CHFC, stands for Chartered Life Underwriter, Chartered Financial Consultant. I have 3 kids, Brendan, Anthony, and Isabella. You see them there. I am the president of the Power Players chapter in Houston, Texas. A little shout out. We are a virtual chapter. So anybody and everybody's welcome to pop in and visit our chapter at any time. Love to have you. Betty, by the way, is from our chapter as well. And Betty resides down in Mexico. We are a virtual chapter, does a lot of support for people local here in Houston, works for a company local here in Houston. But you guys will soon see when she comes on board here that Betty's got more energy than everybody in our chapter combined. So we love Betty. She's amazing. I joined BNI in August of 2021. I've been in the financial business since April of 1992. So I have some gray hair, not only from my kids, but from my clients. So got a little bit of expertise here. I am a registered investment advisor. I'm a life insurance agent in the state of Texas, just so you all know. Got a little bit of experience behind me. But today, this is all about values-based financial planning. Values-based financial planning is actually a book, Values-Based Financial Planning, by a guy named Bill Bacharach, no relation to Bert. Bill is been in the business for years. I've been practicing this philosophy in my practice for 30 years now. So this has been around a while. It is a methodology. And as Steve said earlier, not everybody practices it, and that's okay. There's a lot of different ways to achieve your results, your goals, and this is just one way to do it that I'm able to share with you today. Encourage you to bring this to your advisor, encourage you to bring this to the chapter. Whatever works for you is why I'm sharing this today. You can also get this book. I've seen it on Amazon. I've seen other financial advisors give it away. It's a great resource for those who are looking and would appreciate this methodology. The values-based financial planning is all about the financial roadmap. So Steve wanted to show the roadmap next real quick there, next slide. And the financial roadmap, a better picture of it than what you can see there is this right here. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to show most on the camera that I can, but this is the actual physical financial roadmap that I complete with clientele. And what I consider the most important part of this is the staircase here, where we talk about values. There's also an area where we talk about goals. And then there's an area where we just take a snapshot of where you are today. No judgment, assets minus liabilities, the insurances, just where are you? Now, what's great is once this is complete, it actually becomes a great vision board. I've seen people put this up in their houses to use it as a way to move themselves forward for what's important to them. So that's the premise of this, working off of this book. If you do get this book, if you order it somewhere, make sure that the roadmap is in the book so you can complete it, because this first 5 chapters of this book tells you how to do what I'm going to show you a little bit of today. So that's it so far. Then I'll come back to this because I've got a couple other little tidbits in here to share with you. Before we get into the demonstration, something you may want to do on your own. Let me just talk about the 5 areas of financial planning. Real simple. Cash flow. Number 2 is insurances, all of them. Number 3 are investments. Again, all types of investments. Number 4 is going to be everything legal. And number 5 is going to be everything tax related. All 5 of those areas I consider fully comprehensive. All 5 of those areas I like to see in place every year. And 5 areas of financial planning, just to share with you. So what we're going to do here, and Betty's been very gracious. Excuse me, I'm moving around the camera as best I can here. Betty's been very gracious to walk through this roadmap with me a couple weeks ago. And luckily she forgot a little bit of it, but she's willing to go through it again. And we're going to give you a live presentation of the roadmap. Now, the only difference is due to camera. I'm not going to fill out the information on here. What I'm going to do is step aside a minute, and I'm going to fill out the information on the board. And I'm going to encourage you all, go ahead and grab a sheet of paper, nice blank sheet of paper. Start about halfway on the sheet. So don't start at the top, start about halfway down on the sheet. And you can follow along with me on the questions that I answer. It's not difficult. I would encourage you to ask these questions of your spouse, your partner. Have somebody ask you these questions. And here's the process. So why don't we get started with it? Betty, you ready to walk through? All right.
Yes, I'm ready.
I love it. I think there was a comment already on here, which is great. Your smile is infectious and everybody thinks it's great. Betty, real quick though, give a quick introduction to yourself. You're down in Mexico and you're wearing something warm. So
Okay, so, and please time me because I love the sound of my own voice. I'm in Mexico, the northern part, Nuevo León, from the Gulf, 2 states inland, but on the top left of me, there's a ventilation shaft, and I don't know why it keeps blowing in the cold weather outside. So it's horrible. But the thing is, I am a virtual assistant. I am a business finance coordinator. I have a lot of hats and I love it because I'm energetic, and I better shut up now.
Betty brings so much joy to our chapter, folks. You have no idea how fun it is to have her in our virtual chapter. She lights up the room every time. So Betty, thank you again. So folks, here's how we get started with the values conversation. Probably what I consider the most important part of this process is the values conversation. And so we'll start from there. Betty, what's important about Betty? What's important about money to you?
Notice that we practiced and I forgot about it. So it's like, and money is important because it helps me pay for expenses, the planned and the unplanned.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you. Betty, what's important about paying for those expenses, both the planned and unplanned, to you?
Well, paying expenses is important because why wasn't hold on. I answered this last time.
First thing that comes to your mind, it's okay.
Well, the first thing was responsibility.
Okay, that's great.
Oh, okay.
Betty, what's important about responsibility to you?
If you're not responsible, you get in trouble. I've had some times where I didn't pay up and it hurt. So responsibility is important to avoid getting in trouble.
What's it bring to you when you know you're being responsible? What's important about having that sense of responsibility to you?
Oh, it lets me sleep at night better.
So what's important about sleeping at night better, or as I say, having better sleep at night? What's important about that to you?
Well, it's the feeling of not being burdened. It's like I always wake up energetic in the morning. I mean, I don't need coffee, but when I sleep better at night, when I'm not worried constantly about how I'm going to pay things, it's like, yes, it's Monday morning and I'm happy to be awake. It's Friday morning and the weekend is here, you know, but it's like, I don't know, it's unburdening. It's freeing. I feel free to live.
Good answer. You took the long way to get there, Betty, but that's a good answer.
This is suffering. I have never thought about money, and my therapist just recently uncovered a money issue with me. So this was hard the first time.
Yep.
So Betty, what's important about having that feeling of freedom to live to you?
I think someone said it. I am too loud. Feeling free to live allows me to be myself. People, cover your ears. I am loud. You know, it's like, I don't know. Okay. Repeat the question, please.
What's important about having that feeling of the freedom to live to you?
It's important because it allows me to better plan and create goals more objectively. So you see, I can be serious.
Yeah. Tone change right there.
Betty, what's important to be able to plan and create those goals to you?
Have I told you how much I love you? Okay. Planning and creating goals is important because it helps me to find out whether I'm moving forward or standing still. That better be enough.
I like this kind of deep dive questioning to get to
I
we need to
don't.
get to.
It's good, but you really need to sit down and think about it more than 15 minutes.
Well,
Next.
What's important about moving forward and not standing still?
we're almost there because he's
To
almost
you.
at a whiteboard.
I'm almost out of whiteboard, so I'll
Can't you
glue down the bottom.
write
That's okay.
bigger?
What's
Right?
important? Yeah, I wrote a little too big. What's important about moving forward and not standing still to you?
Life is about change. You have cycles. If you stand still, you cannot go through your cycles. Moving forward is important because life is forward moving. You're not writing.
So this is great. Mary Beth is a coach, and she says we all have the answers within us. It takes the questions to unpeel the onion.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you always cry when you unpeel an onion.
I hope I don't make you cry here today, Betty. So Betty, what's important about your life moving forward?
You don't have space.
No, I'm okay.
Oh.
What's important about your life
more room.
moving forward? That was
Okay, moving forward is important because I have been standing still and I don't like the feeling.
so
The feeling of not,
what's it bring to you when you know your life is moving forward? What is it? What do you have inside here? Can't get my back camera. What is it that it brings to you in here, knowing that your life is moving forward?
the only thing I can think of is a bright sunshine with a rainbow in front of it.
And what do you gain from that? What's internal to you when you know you're in that space?
It creates more creativity. It creates more willingness to go out and, live the day.
So I'm just going to sneak this one up here.
Tell me you don't have any more space.
We'll stop here because I get the pain. We'll stop here, but Betty, if you look at your board here, and I know hopefully folks you can see this all right, but for you, an inspiring financial strategy starts with knowing that you can pay for your expenses, knowing that you have that responsibility, that you're having that sense of responsibility allows you to better sleep at night. You're feeling free to live. You're able to plan, you're able to create, you're able to see your goals ahead of you. You're moving forward. And for you, life is about moving forward. And when you're in that space of moving forward is when you really start to open your creativity. So when you think about decisions, my encouragement is to think about to weigh the decision against the question, will it allow me to move forward and reach my creativity? What many people do is they get stuck here and they take a decision or a possibility and say, well, if I can pay for my expenses, I'm good. Well, what you're really trying to do is live moving forward and with creativity. So when you spend money, because that's really what this is involved in, look at which decision will allow you to be up here. Roy Disney once said, if your values are clear, your decisions are easy. So I can tell you that when you know these answers, I do this myself, folks, when you know these answers, when life lifes you, when something shows up, apply the question, will it allow me to move forward? That's one way. Now, for the sake of the example, sake of the demonstration, we'll move into the goals section. You may remember we have the values conversation, and clearly when I do this, I stick within the lines, right? But then we move into the goals, and just like any goal setting you do, they need to be SMART, right? Specific, measurable, attainable. I forget always R&T what that is, but we're gonna talk about some of your goals, okay? And we'll go through as we do goals. So Betty, share with us, what's a goal that takes time and money to achieve? Now, I'm not talking in the next year or two, that's really a cash flow planning. I'm talking 10, 20 years out or more. What's a goal that you wish to achieve?
Retire! I want to retire. I want to be alive to retire.
Good goal. I got it. Now, retirement's a great number, is a great goal, but can you give me a name? Can we call this goal something that's inspiring to you?
Oh, life after work. Yes.
Okay.
I can party after work.
All right. So your retirement name is Life After Work. I love it. And when do you want to achieve this goal? By when do you want to achieve it?
Hang on. What year is it? 23. I don't know. I was planning on living 1,000 years, but to be more real, 15 okay. More years.
And so 15 today, this is 23, 15, that puts us in 2038. When in 2038 do you want to reach that goal?
Anytime in specific day. My birthday. Yes, May 3.
Okay. So by May 3,
yes,
2038 is when you'd like to have that goal reached.
Yes.
And at the time, don't worry about future dollars. In today's dollars, annually or monthly, how much would you like to know is coming in starting May 3, 2038? What dollar amount?
Okay, so I will quit my job on the 2nd, wake up late on the 3rd, and start putting my hand out to get my money. And we're thinking, I don't know, you can live on 5,000 per month, no?
Your number's your number. Everybody has their own number. So is
Well,
5,000.
that's a rounded number, 5,000.
Okay. So 5,000 a month
Mhm.
is your goal. Okay.
Yes.
So for the sake of this exercise, project yourself forward. It's May 3rd, 2038. Your birthday day, right? Or is your birthday
Yes.
the 4th? Birthday.
Yes.
You're celebrating your birthday and you receive notification. Look, you've done it. Life after work has started. You know that the money's coming in for you. Give me 2 or 3 words that describe what you're thinking and how you're feeling at the time.
First of all, I stopped my alarm clock when it rang at 6, and I said, forget it, I'm in bed. Then it was a hooray when I saw that message. I made it. And then it's the question of, gosh, what am I gonna do now? What now?
What now? Excellent. Okay, so that's great. What's another goal you may have?
Oh, buy a house.
Buy a house. Let's name that goal again, something that inspires you. What would you like to name that?
You like naming things, right?
I do.
Okay. First place.
First place.
Oh my God, Betty. Betty, I need you to come on to future webinars with me just as a co-star.
Oh my gosh, dude, you guys, I'm serious, y'all got to visit our chapter. I mean, seriously, Betty is amazing. First place, Betty, by
Yes.
when do you want to move into first place?
Oh, May 4th, 2038.
So the day after you know that you're retired.
Yes. That is going to be a great year.
And in today's dollars, what do you project that first place home to cost? Just
Oh, you caught me on this one the last time as well. It's a 2-bedroom. What? I
like that
think
you
we
got the
said
vision for it.
400,000, something like that.
okay. 400 works. It's your number.
I forgot to
Again.
do my research on this one.
Again, it's May 4th, 2038. You partied hard on your birthday the night before. Now you're getting the keys to that home. You've reached the goal. Give me 2 or 3 words to describe what you're thinking and how you're feeling at this time.
First thing I do opening the door is smell it. It's a brand new house and it's all mine. The second thing that happens is that I start worrying in a nice way about how on earth am I going to fill it, which is a woman's, a dream. Point me to the place where I can buy things. So, the first thing is like, wow, this is my first house, I walk all around it. But then, yeah, it's how am I gonna fill it? I mean, a house needs to be personal. It needs to have your things. And I'm bringing in very few things to fill a house, so.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. So, folks, this is how I fill in the goals. On the roadmap, there's a space for 3, but I've actually got little stickers that I add more on here. There's no limit to the goals. Betty did a great job. Thank you, Betty, for answering those questions that way. I know they're challenging, but you want to be very specific to that goal so you know you have something to measure against and you know you have something to create. Finally, the last part of it, and out of privacy, folks, I think it makes sense, is what we call the where are you today? Okay. And the lovely thing about these roadmaps is on the backside, there's a place to summarize everything. And what we simply do, and I'm going to make some room over here. Betty, I'm sorry, I'm going to move these out real quick. But now what we do for the roadmap experience is we just say, where are you right now? And first section of it is going to be cash reserves. All right, and we just take a now and then want to be. All right. No judgment, folks. Don't get into, boy, I should have saved, I would have saved, I wish I had this. It's not a place to, judge what you had in your life. Life's everybody. So you just take the number that is now, and then whatever your advisor, whatever your comfort level is of what kind of cash reserves you want according to your cash flow. I take a standard of 3 to 6 times monthly expenses. Is what I look for in general. It's just general, and that's not for everybody. You got to pick your own numbers, right? Second section you'd look at is debt, everybody's favorite section. And when you look at debt, it's again, just what is so, right? We've got, 350,000 of debt. And, debt's always a funny number. Of course, we don't like to have consumer debt, but sometimes business debt, sometimes household debt, household meaning the actual asset itself, the house itself. Sometimes that's okay. Again, your advisor and you will work out what your comfort level is and that just where you want the debt to be. And then we just take a snapshot of the growth assets and the assets. Again, no judgment to it. And, if you're at 750,000 of growth assets, and that's really a big question mark. That's where the actual planning comes into play. And when I say the planning, that's the time value of money. You gotta, project future interest rates, the type of account you're in, your risk tolerance, all of that. But when you're done, it's these assets that are going to give you what you need to reach your goals, ultimately for reasons that are important to you. Now, I'll share with you folks what frequently happens, a question I ask people relatively quickly is, have you ever achieved a goal? Have you ever found a goal that you reached, but you were not fulfilled? And a lot of people will say, yeah, I thought if I got the car, if I thought I got the house or did the vacation, whatever, I'd be fulfilled. And they're not. And what I find is if the goal's not in alignment with the values, then the sense of fulfillment won't be there. So the art of creating a financial strategy, again, what came from this methodology that Bill created, is about aligning your money to your goals and your goals to your values, so that you're spending, you're saving, you're doing whatever you need to do for your values. One thing, and folks, I'm not here to personally plug the book. I have no financial relationship with Bill in the book. I'm not here selling it. You can get this on Amazon, wherever you want. I have no connection to it. There's a couple chapters in here that I think are great. This is my favorite area, and that is how to decide what kind of client you will be. Are you a delegator? Are you a collaborator? Are you a do-it-yourselfer? Once you know what kind of client you are, will help you pick the right advisor for you. Right? If you're a do-it-yourselfer, you may not want to pay an advisor. You might just do everything on your own. If you're a delegator and you want an advisor, and so picking the right advisor for your personality, I think is key. Then there's a whole chapter in here about how to find a trusted advisor and how to research and interview and work with them. I encourage you to pick the right advisor for you. BNI's got great, wonderful advisors in all over the country. I'm assuming just about every chapter's got one. And hopefully this tool is something that will allow you to pick something that's right for you. And hopefully the conversation here today was inspiring, and hopefully the work that you can do will inspire you to pick a strategy that works for you to reach your goals. So Steve, that's really about it. I hope we're doing okay for time. I haven't been checking too much. Oh, Betty's giving me a timeout. Folks, Betty runs the slideshow during our meeting, and this is how she communicates with me frequently. Hey, Pete, you missed something. So Betty, what?
Okay. First of all, thank you everyone for your nice words. I have been reading some of the chat, not all of it, but thank you. I'm really okay. But our chapter, I was asked, our chapter is Power Players, Thursday, 7:15 in the morning, and this is how I am waking up. So I mean, no coffee, no drugs, no alcohol. Stay safe and healthy. No driving, please, while you're on, because it's virtual. And hey, you guys want an introduction to Peter? Call me. I know the guy. So no, that's inappropriate. Okay, so I do know the guy, but let's leave it like that. And I think that's all my commentary.
Betty, you're
Oh, I
wonderful.
do need referrals. So hey, tap me for a referral to him.
So Betty, you're wonderful as always. Thank you, folks. I would love to have one-on-ones. One of the things I thoroughly enjoy about BNI is the internet, the national networking call. It's 3:00 Central Time on Tuesdays. I almost always sign up for that. And what I love doing are one-on-ones with people across the country. I just posted in the chat my link to my virtual calendar and set up a virtual one-on-one with you all. So happy to do that. And or get a hold of Betty, I guess, and go for the referral. What that I think is absolutely wonderful. Betty, you're great. And please come on by and check out our chapter. Thursday morning, 7:30 Central is when we kick off. So arrive a couple minutes early, as Betty said, get to chat with everybody in the room. And then, of course, we go on till 9 and we do our best to make everybody have a good time. Steve, I'll turn it back to you. Was this your feedback? Was this good for you?
Yeah, I thought this was great. You know, when we looked at that first tier that says pay for expenses, I think we all live there for the most part. And we don't really think that far into the future, except for a couple of people in the chat who are like planning this thing for years. But this is why I think it's so important for you to have a conversation with either Peter or the financial advisor in your chapter to say, you know, where do we go? I think that here's one thing that I know, Peter, and you've probably heard this before in BNI. Some people say, well, I don't have a lot of money to invest or to manage, so I don't think I should have a conversation with a financial advisor, but that's really not the case.
No, I think, again, financial advising from my perspective is about reaching the values. And values, you could have 20 bucks in the bank and you could have 10 million in the bank and your values are yours. So I think identifying your core values and then using that as a stepping stone to properly spending to reach those values. So you're right, everybody, in my opinion, everybody should have some sort of a plan. Now, some advisors have minimums and I respect the advisors for their minimums. Right, yes. Some advisors. So for example, when I engage in a plan or the timing of it, you know, it's about 20, 30 hours of my time just to get a plan in place. And, you know, I got to be paid for it. I don't mean to be rude. I just can't give them away. Yeah. But other advisors work on different fee structures and communicate that with their advisor. Everybody, you know, has the opportunity.
So here's the question that was put forth here, and I think it's an important one, and it's kind of like, you know, we're in BNI, so we're friends with the people that, you know, we work with in our network. So is there any kind of conflict with doing business or advising a friend as opposed to someone who just contacts you?
A great question. I think it's your comfort level is the answer. My opinion, and take it with a grain of salt, my opinion is I want nothing more for my friends than their success. I want nothing. I kind of equate it to, well, would you go to a dentist that you didn't know? And that dentist is like, why'd you go to that guy? That guy just overcharged you, or that guy didn't do a good job, whatever. I think you should work with the people that you know, like, and trust, the basis of BNI, right? I think you should or could work with the people who you know have your best interest in mind. And therefore, Yeah, I love it when my friends come to me. I do, but I respect some people are like, well, I don't want you to know all my dirty laundry. Okay, I get it.
Right, right. Okay. Howard's asking, what's the most challenging goal or goals to meet in a situation kind of like what Betty just went through in your exercise?
What's the most challenging goal to me? Don't know if I quite understand the context of that. If Howard, you could add some more into the chat. Because so I think if I'm understanding the question correctly, Howard, every time I do a roadmap and every time somebody gives me their goals, it's the first conversation I have with people. Sometimes there's a disconnect between their ability to achieve the goal and their vision, right? So some people, you know, when I'm working through this, will say, well, I want $1 million in 2 years and I got 20 grand, I got $20 now. Yeah, I don't think we're going to achieve it. So I guess if I'm understanding the question, the only answer I can give is sometimes I have to diplomatically advise people on the reality of them reaching what they want. But that's, you know, I'm 31 years doing this, so I'm pretty comfortable in saying things straightforward yet with compassion and heart, because I don't want people to not dream, but I also want people to realize you've got to do the work.
Right, right. Okay. Oh, so Howard clarifies goals are fluid, and I do not want to know about the disconnect. Wait, and I do want to know about the disconnect goals and values.
Yeah, so great. So I use the term a lot, life lifes you. I said that to Betty the first time a couple of weeks ago, and of course Betty's down in Mexico and she said, life lifes you. Is there something wrong with your English? Yes, there is something wrong with my English. So when life lifes you, the goals change. I think I made the phrase earlier, goals always change, values never do. And that's nature of life is what I've seen over my years. So really, when the life lifes you, Howard, when the goals change, however slightly or major, come back to your values, come back to what's important to you, then realign new goals to that. I'll give you an example, a goal. I want my child to go to college and they're 5 years old. So we're starting a savings plan for college. Child's now 15 and doesn't look to be college material. The guy, you know, he wants to be a welder. Right. You know, welders make a lot of money. That's fine. The goal of education is there, but the college aspect isn't. So there's just a shift. Okay. Or more, maybe more appropriately, and I hate to bring this up a little, but it happens. You know, we got married and the goal is, you know, life ever after, and now we're going through divorce. Goal changed. So how do you manage that shift? Well, I contend manage it to the value. Come back to your values. And Howard, I just noticed on the chat here, I'm kind of seeing it. I've had the same values since high school. Yeah, I'm glad that you said that and brought that up. Most people do. Most people, their values deepen as they get older, but they pretty much know what they are, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old. You know what your core value is. Now, when I was 20 years old, my core value was driving a Ferrari. At 55, my core value is leaving a legacy for my children. So, you know, something that the goal was driving the Ferrari, but the value was always there at 15. Let me clarify that. So, anything else? I love these questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's see. No, I think I got just a bunch of mostly comments here. Robert was talking about in that, you know, question about doing business with friends. He said, yes, but should it be someone you're doing life with, playing golf, kids in school together, or just a trusted person who you separate work life and home life?
Again, it's so individual, right? If your comfort level is if you prefer that the advisors you work with, and this extends everywhere, you know, not just the financial, even the doctors or the dentists or whatever, then it's okay. I got your Betty. It's okay. If your comfort level is to keep that separate, then keep it separate. Totally get it. If your comfort level is, I want my best friend to take care of me, it's so individual. Betty, you gave me a timeout there.
Yeah, well, I just answered this question in the Q&A. This is the first time that I am actually going to plan financially. I mean, I always did it as it felt and whatever it was comfortable, right? But now that I'm going to start doing it, I really want Peter to do it because I know how he works. I mean, we are in the same chapter. I kind of know the guy, but I know how he works and there's good chemistry with us. Peter was saying, would you go to a dentist you don't know? I like to work with people I have good chemistry with. If for whatever reason that person just doesn't speak my same language, we don't communicate correctly, there's bound to be mistakes, so I prefer doing things with someone I call more than just an acquaintance, someone I know, someone I can trust that he's going to do his level best, to help me out in the best way that he can. And the thing about Peter, if he can't, he'll let you know. He'll help you, point you in the right direction. Because, I mean, the guy has limits, but they're so way up higher than mine that, I mean, it's what? You see, I always make him laugh. I should
You're awesome.
quit my day job.
Yeah. Betty, you're awesome. And we also, as you well know, when we manage it, we also have a time thing that Steve's got to manage here. So I want to keep on top, but I thank you. Your words are absolutely wonderful. And I think it's a point well taken that, it's your comfort level. It's what you choose to do. And today's purpose, and I hope it was conveyed well, is to give everybody here just an avenue, something to think about, a new way to look at it, a conversation to bring to your advisor, what works for you. And that's really the key here, that I think is the biggest takeaway I received from it. And Betty, thank you so very much as always. Any other comments or questions? Or Steve, how are we doing for time?
That was the last one, so I think we are in good shape. This was really interesting and a good talk. I think that, is important for people to really think about their finances and think about what's in the future, because we do tend to live so much in the moment. So I'm glad that we got to see Betty do her thing and figure out how everything was going to work out for her.
I think I think a big shout out to Betty, everybody. Drop her a quick little thank you, because
she's going to win like the best supporting actress.
She was great. And I'll tell you, folks, I asked several people if they would be willing to do this. And Betty was like, yep, I'll do it. She was the first. Yep, I'm happy to do it. And she really put herself out there. These were genuine answers from her, you notice. We did do this a week ago and she forgot the answers, which is typical. And this is genuine. And so, Betty, thank you for your vulnerability and sharing with the thousands of people who are going to watch this today and off into the future, yourself and your authenticity. And that's something you bring to life, and you definitely bring it to our chapter. That is a joy. So thank you for that.
Yeah, this was really great. Thanks for being on.